Good morning and welcome to day 20, where we begin mastery, the mastery cycle. So, over the next 8 days, we are going to be exploring and generating and developing ideas, concepts, but also actions that create behavior and habits to encourage and support mastery. Mastery in what? Well, essentially, even though this is about technology and screen times, what mastery really is about is having discipline, having resilience, and having character. So developing a strong character that is based on a very confident inner knowing. And when you get in touch with the I am, your higher power, for those of you that are not spiritual or religious, when you get in touch with yourself, your inner compass, your inner beingness, you're not going to get pushed around and you're going to feel much more, I guess, for want of a better expression, you're going to feel more together and you're going to feel more positive in the choices that you make. And they will become easier. So you're going to get into a flow of behavior that replaces the incoherent behavior that perhaps you practiced before. So I'm going to talk today about a concept and we'll develop it out over the next couple of days as well. And that is the divine covenant that you make between yourself and technology. Now, covenant simply means a sacred agreement. Most of us understand what a contract or an agreement is. It's usually between two parties. It's a negotiation. It's I do this for you, you did this for me. We agree on that, and here's what we're going to do together, and here's the price. Well, the same is true with our relationship with everything, people, places, things. So when it comes to technology, our divine covenant will be between ourselves, the higher power version of us, and technology itself. Now, why would we even think like this? How could we even put technology in, which seems so abstract, in a position of being a party? Because it is, and it will be more and more. You see, technology is not going to stay simply apps on our phone. Okay. Technology is going to become and is becoming sentient. It's going to become an entity in all of our lives. We are going to live, if we carry on this trajectory, in an internet of things if we're not there already. That's just a fact. That's where we are with our civilization. So, regarding and respecting it as an entity, as a thing, in terms of our relationship to it, is going to be really useful for our brains. Now, I want to talk a little bit about a, a wonderful person, Edith Egar, and she wrote a book called The Choice. Now, Edith went through, she was in a concentration camp in the Second World War. And her book basically is all about a choice that we make when we're in a situation and how we're going to respond. So we can either see the situation as negative or we can see the situation as an opportunity to grow. And I would say, along with the idea of a covenant, that you always maintain the concept, which is true, that in any given now moment, you have a choice. Nobody has embedded technology into you against your will or is holding a gun to your head. In other words, every time you engage with technology, you are exercising free will. Now, however you get on technology, if the ways that they hook you in perhaps are unethical, maybe look at Edith Egar. She was in a concentration camp. How unethical can you get? And she was forced to be there. And yet she chose to see in every moment she had a choice in how she would react. So remember, you've got a choice point here. We're going to enter into a sacred agreement. Now, this is why at the very beginning of this program, I said, go out and get a box, find a box that you can put your most used device in. And then we said, get some nice material, put it in there, And there was a reason for that. So we're going to pull that box out and we're going to get used to putting our phone in that box at night. And when we're not using our device, we're going to put it in that box. Now, that box, we're going to be putting something in that box tomorrow, which is part of the covenant. But for now, if you can go and get your box and have it handy, because tomorrow we'll be talking about that again. Let's talk about the relationship or the agreement that we have with technology. So nothing in life is free. When we engage in technology, we're making it an agreement to give that company our limited data. And I say limited because there are ways that you can decrease the amount of data they harvest. But we are agreeing to be most of the time recorded and have our choices and preferences recorded and put into an algorithm. That is part of our agreement. If we don't agree to that, we shouldn't pick up their product or use their app. We're also agreeing to give our time. We're agreeing to give our life force time. Remember, we get about 4,000 weeks from birth to death, an average lifespan. So you're willing to give, they say it's about 5 to 7 years of your life on your screen and on your device. So you agree to that. That's part of your divine covenant with technology. So there's a gain and there's a give. So what are you gaining? What are you gaining? Let's go through what you're gaining because it's good that we all understand what we're gaining so that we can make an informed decision. So technology offers us information in real time. Now, we have to use discernment about where the news is coming from, where the reports are coming in from, because if we don't, we can be subject not to news but propaganda. But in real life, you can get information as it's happening on the ground, and that's huge. We can get geopolitical updates. We can connect with amazing spiritual, metaphysical, lifestyle teachers, people that are generously giving their time and their wisdom, either low cost or free, that we can access because we have this gadget. We have a doorway into, if you will, their store. That's a benefit. That's something that technology gives us. We have access to education. If you go on YouTube or any of the video channels, you can actually access some of the biggest universities will give away entire courses for free. There is so much to be learned and knowledge to be acquired by going into technology and using streaming devices and platforms. We can use it to stay in touch with people all over the world, dear friends, our family, and new spiritual peers. So people that we perhaps are in a community with, we've never met in real life, but we feel like we're really close. And that's the gift of technology. We can join a spiritual growth community. That is the gift of technology. We can enjoy hobbies online. We can also get health tips and tools, how to live better. We can also engage in business opportunities so we can market ourselves. We can get work. We can work remotely online 100%, which means that we are free to work as long as there's a Wi-Fi reception. We're free to work anywhere in the world. That is an enormous amount of freedom that technology has given us. We shouldn't underestimate either the technology that is available, the information that is available immediately through AI, and how we can go on platforms where they have encyclopedias and experts. So that's another win. I want to last mention financial freedom. Yes, business opportunities, financial freedom. So we can even get financial support and advice. And indeed, we can get therapy now online for emotional or addiction issues. So these are huge, huge wins. Now, if we feel like if we're getting into a balanced relationship through this covenant with technology, right? And we're thinking about, right, so I'm going to be discerning, and I'll talk about this in more depth tomorrow, bit more discerning in what I'm willing to give. Remember, you can put your shekel on the table. And what I mean by that is if you don't want to give all your data away, if you don't want to be recorded, including all of your private emails and your text messages, get a subscription, go pay for it. Put a little money on the table. And then that way you're offsetting what you're giving and leveraging to these huge companies. Now, there are exceptions when we say that there are no victims when it comes to technology. And I think this is a big, big deal. If you are a young person who is what they call a digital native, perhaps you're a Gen Z or Alpha, a young millennial, or even a minor, a child watching this, you are the exception because your developing brain and psyche should have been better protected. Most of us had no idea what this technology was going to do to your developing brains. We all kind of went along for the ride, us adults, us as a community, us as a society. And now we're realizing that there are some really big side effects, including the way that young people see themselves, the anxiety levels. Our brains were never hardwired as teenagers to hear about bad news from all over the world. That's happening to our kids. There are real addictions now online. We have porn addiction. That's a huge one. We have gaming addictions. That's a huge one. And there are organizations that can help around those issues. There's a lot of cyberbullying online, and those are really big issues too. Um, but I want to say to you, if you're watching this as a young person and you do feel addicted, go and get some professional help. I am not a psychologist, and this program is not a substitute for getting real support around an addiction. And you won't get a more pernicious addiction than digital screen addiction, in my opinion. I think it is at the very top of all of the addictions that modern societies have. The good news is that you are young and you have more plasticity, what they could call neuroplasticity. That means you can recover your brain much quicker than the rest of us. And you can very quickly regrow the neural circuits of your brain to get back control over your dopamine release and some of the other chemicals that are being released in your bodies when you watch constant screen time. And you can form a healthier neural network, heal your brain, and I would suggest you can soothe your soul. Now, I've talked about this before. I'll talk about it again. If you are a young person watching this, one of the other things you can do is actually go and live in the real world, spend as much time as you can volunteering for a good cause, something in the community, something that's uplifting, and just get to meet more people your own age, but also other generations. Don't be in an echo chamber, meet other people too. And you too can sit down and say, right, I'm going to make an agreement between myself and my technology. So today we've spoken about day 20 covenant. And what I'd love for you guys to do is to go into your journal and notebooks. And I'd like you to write the word, my covenant with technology. Now, tomorrow we'll drill down on what you can put in that covenant. But for now, just hold the idea of you and technology coming into a holy covenant. So let's get into DCT. Now, if you're new here, DCT stands for Deep Coherence Technique. It is a mind, heart, body activation that grounds you into the earth and gives you a sense of calm and relaxation. But more than that, it gives you a sense of connection to yourself and of presence. It's a 5-step activation, and I'm going to do it classically today. So first of all, close your eyes. You can do this sitting down. You can do this laying down. You can do this standing up. If you want to experience this in the most optimum way, we suggest that you go outside, put your bare feet actually on the earth and face the sun. But I'm going to be doing this sitting down. Step number one, we're going to ground to the earth. We're going to put our feet firmly on the ground. We're going to bring our attention from our mind, the chitter chatter, down into our feet. And now we're going to bring our awareness to the ground beneath our feet. Bring your awareness to the ground beneath your feet. And in doing so, notice the difference between your feet and the ground beneath your feet. Now, that separation is in fact an illusion, and we're going to close the gap. We're going to close the gap on that sense of separation. So merge the ground with the soles of your feet until they become one. Merge the ground to the soles of your feet until they become one. Very good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to drop down through the soles of our feet into the ground through a root system. And I see these as glowing, silvery or golden roots. And they stretch down from your feet all the way. They're very fine, but there's a lot of them. It's like a nerve network. They go down, 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 down through all the layers of the earth. Down, down, down. And as you dip further and further down, surrendering and letting go as you do so, you're just going to find that you feel more relaxed. Down, down, down until we reach the center of the earth herself. And we call this the earth's core. It is round, it is solid, it is black. These are the primordial womb waters of the earth. It is where her heart is. It is where the Schumann resonance beats out from. And when you connect to this place, of course, you're always connected, but when you reconnect to this place, you will feel supported, nurtured, and more importantly, home. You will also realize that every single living being on this planet, every ecosystem, has its roots in the Earth's core. We are, in fact, one sentient being. Connect to that. Very good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bring up that harmonic resonance, that vibration, that frequency. We're going to raise it up through the layers of the earth. Now I'm going to count from 10 to 0. And when I get to about 5, the earth's Schumann resonance would have hit your feet. When I get to 0, it would have risen up like a tide, an ocean tide, until it reached the very cap of your enlightened mind. Okay, so 10 to 0. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 at your feet. 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. Step number 1 is complete. You are grounded to the earth. Step number 2, we are going to activate the light body using pranayama breath work. That's 5 deep breaths in. And as you breathe in, visualize a golden light coming from the cosmic center, carrying light codes that activate and illuminate your light energetic body. Very good. Step number 2 is complete light body has been activated. Step number 3, we are going to prime our electromagnetic field. We're going to be using our hands and fingers. Keep your eyes closed because this is a feeling step. I want you to put your hands out all the way around as you see fit. And I want you to feel the air around you. It is an empty space. It is sentient. It is you. This is your local electromagnetic field. Taking a walk around neighborhood. And what we're doing when we do this, and other practices do this as well, is we're cohering the inner and the outer fields. We are cohering the inner with the outer fields. This is a very important step. In fact, they all are. As we do this, we can imagine that our electromagnetic field or aura is shifting colors. You might see rainbow colors, aurora borealis. You might see a single color. I like to hold a cobalt blue as I go about my day to offer maximum protection between myself and any dysfunctional or negative energy so that it doesn't attach, penetrate my field. It's good to have a strong field, more than just a personal boundary. It really does keep bad vibes and energy away from you. It's like your immune system. So we want to flex that. That's what step number 3 does. Now, step number 4, we've primed our electromagnetic field. We've activated our light body and we've grounded like a lightning rod, like a plug and play into the earth. This is a biotechnology. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to activate the powered I am, that I am, that I am. If you're not religious or spiritual, we are simply invoking your higher power to unfold and to become who you truly are in this now moment and during your day. So put your hands in front of your heart because this is where it is in residence. Gently open your hands as though you're opening a door or pages of a book. In fact, you're opening a portal. And as you do so in your mind's eye, see the brilliant light that is now beaming out of your chest area, beaming out in all directions, 360. Those golden rays of light are what we call the rising sun, your inner sun, S-U-N, but also the resurrected sun, S-O-N, for you are a child of God. So see those rays of light unfolding into a primed electromagnetic field. Now we do this to receive this sacred Shekinah light. You can say, if you're not religious, to receive optimum energy, optimum electromagnetic forces. You can see it that way. Doesn't matter. Extend your arms out like antennae like this. Unfold and just feel the power that you are running when you run from your empowered I am. Very good. And bring your hands back together for step number 5. And notice the difference. Feel the charge that you've built up. Maybe your hands, like mine right now, are tingling. You've activated your field. Bring them down to step number 5, and that is we're going to go and join through a vortex, through the power of 9. These are the beings that I work with. We are going to connect through the crown chakra, the third eye, the pineal gland, opening up in a protected, grounded environment to the cosmic light itself, coming in from the center of the cosmos. This is what keeps us alive. This is literally the source of all. So we're going to bring in those light codes in through the enlightened mind, down into the heart. And what the heart does, it's a sphere, it's a technology, it expands. It synthesizes and expands that light out, creating what we call deep coherence. And deep coherence is a waveform. I see it as a ripple on a still lake. See that ripple rolling out in all directions. And notice the calm that comes in when you do this. Notice how grounded and present and here with me now you are. Because you've calibrated. So let that waveform of coherence ripple out in all directions. When it reaches the end of your electromagnetic field, wherever you see that point, let go and let God. What we're saying is that you're going to generate coherence all day from here anyway. It's not going to leave you. It's always running from here. But where it goes out through your electromagnetic field, you have no control over. But people, places, things will be shifted simply by being in your presence. The quantum field itself will readjust itself, realign itself in accordance with divine law, which is now your coherence signal. So you are literally impacting your reality. And this is why we say to you, notice what you notice in the quantum field today. It is always listening. It is always speaking. And that is your first language. So have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day. And I will see you again very soon.